But what I do know is what makes the difference now more than ever is the customer service. Because I would say we went through a bit of a curve when I was starting, all those years ago. I've been in IT 20 years, I'd say the MSP side 15, 16 years. Um, Customer service was just like implicit. Like, you had to have good customer service or you would lose. And you were really desperate to keep those customers you had. Um, then we went through a bit of a curve, I'd say, over the last, I don't know, 7, 8 years, where customer service seemed to just drop off everywhere. The bar was so low, and a lot of new kids on the block were able to win a lot of business from the old guard because standards had just seemed to drop. I tell you, it seems to be coming back now, and the reason I think it's coming back is because we're seeing that we're getting our time back. And the only place to spend that time is on customer experience, is on making your, end users feel happy. Because how often is a call now an SLA1? How often is it something that's debilitating to the business or the individual?
Mm.
It isn't. Like 80% of calls probably could not happen if you forced it that way. If users were just a bit more, I don't know, hardy like they were in my day, I think there'd probably be not a lot to do, but you're able to make a bit of a noise about the smallest of things now. And so for that reason, I think everything is customer experience now.
I think you're spot on. Going back even a few years, the focus was entirely on deliverables. It's how quickly can you get it done, and
Mm,
for what price, and now it seems like the field is leveling out a little bit,
yeah.
and everybody is able to offer a similar service. So where do you put the focus, and who do you choose? Well, you go to the one with the best service, the best customer service, I think.
Yeah, and where's the differentiator? So at some point, all of the IT side is handled. Okay. We've already kind of acknowledged that 80% of calls probably don't need to happen. Um, they're either automated away or they're not that big of an issue to an end user, and the end user just gets frustrated by them having to, I don't know, walk down the hall to a different printer or whatever. So we've established the engineering side, the operation side is handled. The effort then has to go into customer service. But what do you do about all the other areas your MSP needs to operate so that you can keep your people consistently delivering that good service? That then becomes an HR issue. That becomes an accounts issue. All of the things that everybody still says, oh, I can automate these away. You can build automation into it, but you can't automate these problems away. You can't automate away dispatch management or staff training or invoice queries. All of that stuff needs humans, okay? So isn't it bizarre to think that those little areas are actually the low-hanging fruit that every IT company, every company in general, needs to be starting to hammer out, because the rest of it will be gone soon. And I'm revealing my true thoughts about what this large language model revolution is. I think it is the end of so much if we want it to be.
Yeah, and to flip it back then, why do you think MSPs are struggling to deliver great customer service? What is it about their setup that is limiting them from providing that?
So many different things, but the first thing that just has to be focus. I think there is a lot of people from my generation that still think it's about delivering the technical, it's about delivering the IT support well. And it is, okay? But I promise you can deliver 50 bad IT support jobs as long as you pick up the phone every time. You're good with the customer. You know how to deliver good customer service. You take your prospect out for dinner once a year. Like all of those things, you can keep hold of a support contract for a long, long time. And so why do MSPs fail to deliver that side? I just think a lot of them still think it's about the IT, and it is anything but the IT. The second part is it takes a lot of effort. If you're not a people person, okay, and you're not a person that likes being around people, figuring out how they tick, figuring out how their businesses tick. You need to go into business with someone that does think about it that way. And I say this in every talk I give. It's the worst thing for me was I wasn't particularly extroverted. I wasn't particularly a people person. I loved the technology. I loved delivering, and I loved new ideas and talking to people. But I didn't know how to kind of please. You know, uh, I didn't know how to please customers in a way that made them want to continue paying our invoices for our IT support.
Yeah, that's really interesting actually, because I think a lot of maybe MSP owners are in a very similar position. They do this because they love the technology and because they're good at the technology, and it just so happens that you can build a business out of it. I think
Yeah,
partnering with the right person, but employing the right people as well, is crucial in getting that step right.
100%. And it's interesting you say again. I'm sure in British Gas there are a few people that love gas, but there's probably not many, right? There's actually probably more that are interested with how to deliver that gas, how to bill for that gas, how to all of the things that come along. For some reason in IT, it's filled with people that love the technology, and there absolutely has to be some of us in there, but the rest of it is the delivery of that, it's the packaging up. You go and buy a pension, right? You don't really love the pension, you don't understand what's in it, but the IFA puts it in a nice wrapper and comes and has a good conversation with you about why you need to plan for your future and all the rest of it. Well, that's kind of what we have to do with IT. Like managed services providers have to package up the technical delivery. And this brings us to the crux, like forgetting AI, forgetting automation, all of this sort of thing. What are we going to be packaging IT up over the next 5 years to look like? Okay. And I think MSPs starting today would be absolutely mad not to outsource as much of the operation as possible. Many countries around the world, they don't even employ their own staff, okay? They have employers of record and they handle those deals with those providers. Everybody knows they're employed by a big company over here, but they have a contract of employment with the named brand, as it were. So that's one thing. You've got accounts. Like with all the PSAs available now, Autotask, Halo, ConnectWise, all the rest, 90% of the hard work is done,
Hmm.
but yet people still say, I need an in-house accountant. If you're big enough, you probably do, like us, but up until, I don't know, £1 million in revenue, do you really need that? I mean, do you even need that part-time? I don't know. I'm doubtful. And if you do, I think it's because your operation's too complicated and you haven't niched down enough to trimming out exactly what it is you're selling. You're probably in that phase of buying whatever you can to make a quick buck and selling whatever you can to make a quick buck. And that's fine. We've all been there. But recognize that that is going to be your downfall and that is going to cost you administration later on if you're unable to automate it. So I think that's a key factor for why MSPs starting today need to like be really mindful. They probably don't need to get too bogged down with automation to get started because they've got enough people in their business, hopefully that are just technically focused to get through those things. But everything else associated with it, marketing, HR, accounts, even training, all of that you should be seeking help from outside if you want to grow quickly.